Hey Tammy, thanks for this comment. However, there is more to methylation than MTHFR, and I don't know how many times I need to say this so that the right people end up seeing this video and can actually help their kids with autism, ADHD, ADD, and also help themselves and prevent themselves from potentially having a stroke, a heart attack, and also potentially lower their risk of having a migraine. I know MTHFR is easy to check for, and even your primary care physician could run blood work that runs the MTHFR gene, and in most cases now, insurance companies will even cover it. Fantastic. It's like this big of the picture of methylation. There are people who don't produce SAMe, and they need SAMe to lower homocysteine because there's more than one methylation pathway. And glutathione is the end result of that pathway. It is not the cure for the pathway. Glutathione is an antioxidant used in every tissue in your body, and it is extremely helpful in also helping to lower inflammation, but it does that because it uses homocysteine for its production. However, given that there is the methylation pathway that uses heavily B vitamins, and then there's the methylation pathway that uses SAMe, if you're somebody who doesn't produce SAMe and you've been going down the methylated B vitamin route and it's not helping you, and maybe even creating things like restless leg syndrome, more anxiety, scattered thoughts, feeling like you're going crazy, your skin being itchy all the time, I feel ya, and it's because this methylation thing of MTHFR is all that matters is getting it so wrong. And these same people will tell you ashwagandha is going to help you. It's going to calm you down. It's going to be a miracle. Just like SAMe, ashwagandha also needs to be rotated on and off. You should not be on it consistently. You also should not take it during warm months, like when it's hot outside. You should be taking it during the winter, ashwagandha, not during the summer. But that's besides the point, because one of the methylation pathways will actually cause ashwagandha to create anxiety for you. More brain on fire, more ADD, more ADHD, more symptoms in your autism spectrum child. And this isn't a knock on Tammy. This is a lot of people not understanding the entire pathway that's involved and all the breakdowns. Because what happens is in that methylation pathway, you also have COMT, one of the genetics, COMT or COMT. You've probably heard people say that. That COMT gene's job is to break down catecholamines like epinephrine and norepinephrine. And when it doesn't break those down, it also actually is supposed to help break down dopamine, serotonin, etc. You end up with a buildup of those things in the system. And when you add ashwagandha on top of that, it doesn't allow those catecholamines to do their job. And so that buildup continues to progress, and you end up with symptoms that are worsened by ashwagandha, including anxiety and panic attacks, and uncharacteristic outbursts in your people with ADD, ADHD, autism spectrum disorders. And I'm going to acknowledge that everyone knows about MTHFR. Everyone. And they know because Gary Brecka started talking about it and raving about methylated B vitamins in 2020 on this app and other platforms, and was paying for ads and had big money behind him paying for those ads, saying he could cure your anxiety, your depression, your whatever, just with methylated B vitamins. And I'm also a bit annoyed because even when he was doing the testing, and I know because I paid the excessive amount of money that he was charging for one set of genetics, to see what it said and what the recommendations were. And in that report, it acknowledges that there are people who don't produce SAMe and need to cycle on and off of it, but that is never what he talked about on this platform, never what he talked about on any platform. And did you know that even with an MTHFR mutation, if you're taking methylated Bs, but your MTR and MTRR are failing, and then there's another one entirely that no one ever talks about because hardly anyone tests for it, If that one is also a mutation that is not favorable for methylation, you don't produce SAMe, and then you might have rusty SAMe receptor sites, meaning they don't respond well to the SAMe that you're taking, so you kind of have to overdose yourself on it in order to methylate and get glutathione to lower the homocysteine. It's a whole biochemistry process, and all of it's important, and we need to stop being stuck on methylated B vitamins. It doesn't work for everybody. And it doesn't work for everybody because we are not all the same. And it may not be enough. If you're frustrated because you've been doing the methylated B vitamin thing since 2020, but your symptoms are not improving and you still feel like your brain fog is out of control and your inability to have desire to do anything and your panic attacks and that anxiety and the overwhelming feelings that you get that feel like you can't function in a day, go pay somewhere between $18 and $25 out of pocket for a test for your homocysteine if no one has run it yet. Tell the lab you don't have insurance, you just want to pay cash for the test. Get that number back. If it's above somewhere between 5 and 7, you need to lower it, and you want to lower it quickly. And if you've been using methylated B vitamins and that hasn't worked, it's because you need something else. So what you want to do is start with taking betaine. It usually comes in a supplement with betaine HCl as a digestive enzyme. Take it with every meal for 30 days, but also take SAMe, SAM-E, for 30 days. At the end of that 30 days, go retake that test for somewhere between $18 and $25. Look at your homocysteine. If it hasn't come down even farther to where we want it, somewhere between 5 and 7, even lower would be great. Then continue with the betaine HCl. Take a break from the SAMe. At the end of that 30 days, get tested again. And then if you need the SAMe again, do the SAMe again. But I bet that lowers your homocysteine faster than methylated B vitamins because that's what's working in my clients, even the ones who refuse genetic testing. If you're looking for a good betaine HCl supplement, the one that I usually recommend is the Digest Zymes from Designs for Health. They do have their own website on Amazon. You can order it there. I don't need to get credit for you solving your health issue. Just go fix it. Whether this is for you or your child who is struggling with ADD or ADHD or autism spectrum disorders, go solve the problem.